Hi all, welcome to Anjan GCP Data Engineering. So I have recently cleared Google Cloud Platform Professional Data Engineering certification. This is my kind of a recertification. So I gave my first certification in 2019 and it got expired in 2021 and there was some gap and again I recently cleared this certification. Actually, I was expecting drastic changes in the exam questions from the GCP data and analytics services coverage and also weightage point of view. Why? Because after 2020, there has been new tools and services added into the data and analytics stack, and lot more feature added to the existing services also. But still, I could see lot of weightage has been given to BigQuery, Dataflow, Dataproc, and also Google Cloud Storage and pops up. Okay, and this time level of testing our knowledge has been intensified, I would say. So almost all questions are scenario based. This video is gonna a bit lengthy. Most of our viewers and subscribers, even the people whom I know, are asking how to acquire Google Cloud Platform skills, especially data engineering skills, how to start and where to start. Hence, I'm uploading this video. And also, I hope this video would give a proper direction to the all GCP learners uh, and certification aspirants, and also the people who like to explore their career in the Google Cloud Platform data and AI specialization. So in this video, I'm going to discuss a systematic approach for preparing for this exam, Professional Data Engineering Certification, and also which would eventually help you to acquire Google Cloud Platform data engineering skills. Okay, and also in this video, we will quickly take a look at Google Cloud Platform data engineering roles and responsibilities as per the Google Cloud Platform Data Engineering Certification official web page. Okay, and also we'll try to discuss exam pattern and the duration and other aspects very quickly. Okay, also we are going to discuss service wise topics and concepts which are asked in the current exam that I cleared, and also the other important topics and concepts, okay, for the exam preparation, okay, which would help you to speed up your preparation and also it will boost your confidence. We will also discuss other useful resources, okay, like documentation links and other resources and links which would help you to boost your preparation process. Okay, in my opinion, the best way to acquire GCP data engineering skills is to aim for clearing this certification. Why? Because in the process of preparation you will have to explore the related services through reading documents and also labs and practices you will do using environment provided by your course provider or else your GCP free tier account. But you will have to put your dedicated efforts, as this is a systematic approach. It will take few months time based on your conviction and also persistent effort that you put. Okay, and this cannot be stopped once you achieve this certification. This is a continuation process to be competent in the industry with this skill set. Okay, why? Because all these offerings and products from the GCP will undergo changes in the future as well. They will add few advanced features and you will see new products as per the industry requirement and needs. Okay, I hope this will help you. Now we'll go to Google Cloud Platform Professional Data Engineer certification page. So this is the description of the job. Okay, the certification. So you are expected to know all these concepts and you will be assessed, okay, your knowledge based on these skills and concepts. These are the four primary responsibilities. It is expected to have knowledge and create understanding of designing data processing system, that means architecting data processing systems, and also build and operationalize data processing systems, ensuring solution quality. Okay, and also it is expected to have very good understanding of operationalizing machine learning models using Google Cloud products and services. Okay, and for detailed information you can come down and there is a link called exam guide. You can open this link and there you will in detail explanation of these primary roles and responsibilities, and you will see the granular level of information for each section. So here itself they have mentioned some important Google Cloud products and services, so by using which you can design your application, you can implement your application, and you will ensure the solution quality and other aspects of your data processing systems. Okay, monitoring and auditing and all those details. Okay, so I would recommend you to go through this list twice and thrice before you start your preparation, so that you will have a very good understanding what is expected from the exam. This is not only for the exam. You have to really work as a data engineer. You have to really architect, design and implement data processing system using Google Cloud products. This is definitely helpful to you to understand this list and concepts. Okay, now we'll go to the exam pattern. Okay, so this is I will quickly go through this thing, and exam duration is 2 hours, and they have mentioned the fee also. And there are 50 to 60 multiple choice questions would be given in the exam, but I got only 50 questions in my exam. Most of the questions will have single select answer, and there are some questions will have multi select answers also. Okay, and there are two ways you can give this exam. One is online proctored exam, and you can go to the one of the nearest testing center and you can give this exam. Okay, there are some recommendations given by Google Cloud platform. So the one who is interested to acquire these skills or appear for this exam should have 3+ years of industry experience, which includes 1+ years of designing and managing solution using Google Cloud. Okay, I hope you understand. It is good to have your basic understanding of Google Cloud products and services. These are the some foundational concepts are very important to know and understand before you start your preparation for this exam. Okay, my intention is not to explain all these concepts one by one, so I'm going to list down all the important concepts. Okay, key terms. These are the important foundational concept one needs to have, like ETL concepts, data warehouse concept. There are some overlapping concepts you would see between these two areas, and what is the structured data and unstructured data, what are the different sources which would produce structured data and unstructured data, and also stream data and batch data. Okay, these are the common terms used when you work with the cloud services, like serverless, scalability, high availability, cost effective, high performant, hybrid cloud, multi cloud. So all these concepts and key terms are very important to understand. Why? Because in the exam you will repeatedly see these terms appearing in your questions. If you have the good understanding and background of these concepts and keys or key terms, so you would be able to properly read that question and understand that question. You would be able to select the right answer for that given scenario. Okay, I hope this would really help you. And high level understanding of the Google Cloud resources at these categorical levels, right? So if you take any cloud service provider, they will segregate their cloud resources based on three categories, right? Like compute and network and storage. So it's better to understand this. Okay, and go to the Google Cloud platform. So right now I'm into my Google Cloud platform. So here, if you want to have a quick glance of all the resources and products, here you can click on products and services, all products. Okay, here you can see the segregation based on different parameters, right? Like, and high level you will see compute, storage and network services, and based on the application types and based on the use cases like data and analytics, right? And integration of services, right? And developer tools and all those. You also see a further segregation of the services. Okay, just have a quick glance of all these services. It is very important to understand how your products are segregated based on different considerations. It is very important to understand what are the zones and what are the regions, and what are how the resources are segregated based on zones, regions, and what are the resources available at the global level. Okay, and if you go to the documentation, you can see the in detail explanation of all this concept, and you will see the list of resources which are available at zonal, which are available at regional, which are available at global. Okay, and very frequently you hear these terms, right, when you work with cloud technologies. So all the resources are segregated based on, for example, the user wants to have a full control of maintaining the underlying infrastructure of a particular service. So those services comes under this term called, this concept called infra as a services. Like that, we do have a platform as a service, software as a service, okay, and function as a service. It's very important to understand these concepts and what are the resources offered under these categories, right? And you need to understand even those things. So it is very important to understand the hierarchy of the Google Cloud resources within the Google Cloud platform. Why? Because the level of permission, IAM permission you give at the top level resources, okay, in the hierarchy, that would override the permission given at the lower level resource in the hierarchy. For example, you give a editor access at the project, you give a reader access at the BigQuery level. So the permission given at the project level will override the BigQuery level. You gave the editor access at the project, which would override the reader access at the BigQuery level. So that's why it is important to understand the overall hierarchy of the Google Cloud resources. Now we'll get into a discussion where we'll try to explain service-wise topics covered in the examination, okay, and there are other important topics which are important for your exam preparation and also for your GCP skills, okay. So I will go with the weightage given for a service in the exam. So still I've seen they have given higher weightage for the BigQuery because you will say you will get more number of questions from this service, I would say. Okay, the first thing we'll see topics covered in the exam. Okay, so here I will only list the topics and concepts. Okay, I don't want to list exact questions, and some of the questions I remembered, some of the questions I didn't remember. Likewise, also I remembered few concepts and I did not remember, but anyway I'll try to cover all the important topics and concepts which are required to clear this exam. Okay, so the first one is BigQuery permission and roles as per the least privilege policy. Okay, so there is a concept called least privilege policy. Okay, so whenever you apply, you grant a permission to a user or a group, okay, you'll have to grant that permission based on his job's roles and responsibilities. So I'll give you an example. For example, there is a data analyst need to access a data set and a table, and he will try to use the table and he'll just query the data. He will only read the data. So it doesn't require any permission to edit or write the data into dataset and table. Okay, in that case, it's completely okay to have only a reader permission for this user. Okay, if you grant a editor permission, it is basically a excess permission, right? So it is always recommended to have a least privilege policy which is required to perform that particular roles and responsibility. It is always recommended to grant permission based on the least privilege policies, so which would require to perform his or her duties. Okay, performance improvement and also cost saving. So this can be achieved through partitions and clustering concepts. So we have a dedicated video uploaded in our channel. I would strongly recommend you to go through our channel. We have a playlist available for all the important services, okay, and there are series of videos available for BigQuery, Dataflow and other services. I would strongly recommend you to go through all this video. We have covered all the practical aspects, okay, and this would definitely help you to understand these services, okay, and it will also improve your confidence. Also, BigQuery resource utilization and slots. So BigQuery allocate resources to execute your workloads. They call that particular resource unit as a slot, and there's a question from this area, and there are certain parameters which would help you to there are certain metrics which would help you to monitor your BigQuery resource utilization through slots. Okay, just try to understand that concept, okay, and that would help you. And also there are feature available at BigQuery row level to secure your data, and also BigQuery column level how you secure the data in case of PI data handling. So PI means personally identifiable data, and there are ways there are feature available at the BigQuery to handle this PI data. Okay, I would strongly recommend you to go to this concept. Okay, And also data denormalization. So we have this interesting feature, and you can denormalize the data and take advantage of nested and repeated fields in that context, and you can improve the performance. And so there's a question from this area. And also other important topics. So if you take any Google Cloud service or product, so you can control the access through IAM roles and responsibilities. So you will have to have a very good basic understanding of all the IAM roles, okay, related to that particular product and service, okay. And also, how do you control access at dataset level, table level, at column level, okay. And also handling PA data, there are different options available within the BigQuery to handle your PA data, like authorized views, okay, and data masking, okay. And all those concepts are very important. And also there is a concept called, a feature called schema auto detect when you load data into BigQuery, and this is very important. So I didn't see any question in the current exam, but I've seen one question in my previous exam actually. So how do you load data into BigQuery if that schema is not stable, and that scenario, okay. So also federated queries. So this is useful when you have the data stored outside BigQuery, like other databases like Cloud SQL, right, or Bigtable. You don't want to move the data into BigQuery, still you want to query that data using BigQuery editor, right, and BigQuery SQL. So you can use this concept called federated queries. So we have a dedicated video uploaded in our channel for this concept as well, okay. And also, what are the best practices you follow to save your BigQuery cost and also to improve BigQuery SQL performance? And you need to have a good understanding of this particular topic. BigQuery does support machine learning feature. So using SQL itself, you can create machine learning models. You can train them, you can evaluate them, you can use them for your use case, okay. And also BigQuery transfer service, one of the important service to transfer data from SaaS applications and also Google Cloud Storage to the BigQuery, and we have a dedicated video on this concept as well, okay. And also there is an interesting concept called BigQuery cache, right. Whenever you query something, you will see the result. And this particular concept or cache, it is enabled at the user level, and your results will be stored into this temporary storage called cache. And next time when you want to see the same data, you want to query the data using the same query, and you would get those results from this cache. And it will help you in two ways. One way, the performance will be very fast because it is coming from the cache, and also you will not be get billed for querying the data because it is coming from the cache, okay. So these are the two advantages. And also this is enabled for a specific duration of time. If I'm correct, it is enabled for 24 hours for each user. These are the some of the important concepts and topics. And it doesn't mean that you have to know only these concepts and topics. It's always recommended to even explore other features and concepts. We have a extensive documentation available for each of these service and products. I would strongly recommend you to go through once you're comfortable with these concepts and topics, okay. The next important service, Google Cloud Dataflow. So it is a data processing service which can be used to process your stream and batch data, okay. So usually we use Apache Beam to program your pipelines, which can be run on a Dataflow and other executable environment. So the question from Apache Beam Pardue. And also batch pipeline scenario with PubSub. This is very interesting actually. Usually it is expected that PubSub will be used for streaming use cases, but here in this question, they have asked Dataflow batch pipeline with PubSub use case. Actually, PubSub can be used as a middleware between two asynchronous applications. So to implement your event-driven architecture, you can use PubSub as your middleware. In that context, they have asked this question. Okay, and also uh, it is important to understand the windowing concept, especially when you process your stream data. This is very important concept. You will use this Windows concept, and I have uploaded a dedicated video on this concept as well. There are different windowing concepts like sliding window, fixed window, and session window. You need to understand all those, okay. And also there is a question from Apache Beam side input. This is a programming concept when you build your pipeline using Apache Beam. So we have a video on this concept as well. it is very important to understand stream data process using Dataflow, PubSub, and BigQuery and Bigtable scenarios. Okay, because you will see a lot of questions from this area. Okay, in the exam, you need to thoroughly understand all these permutations and combinations. Okay, and windowing concept along with triggering concept. So these two concepts are related to your stream data processing. And there is an important concept called whenever you are running a stream pipeline in Dataflow environment, if you have to stop the pipeline, there are two options provided. One is drain option and one is cancel option. So when to use what, this is very important from the exam point of view. Okay, and also Dataflow basic IAM rules, and when to use Dataflow runner or direct runner we call. So in order to test or unit test your pipeline, right, you can use direct runner. And other programming concepts are very important, like Purdue, P collection, P transform, and also Dataflow SQL, which is an integral part of your Apache Beam programming uh, SDK, right? And when to use Dataflow SQL, right? So these concepts are very important. Dataflow also providing pre-built templates for different use cases. We have uploaded a couple of videos on this concept as well. So I would strongly recommend you to go through those videos. Okay. Third important service, Dataproc. So this is used for all your Apache Hadoop and Spark workloads. So if you have to migrate your on-prem Hadoop cluster or Spark cluster into Google Cloud Platform, this is the service you will consider. Okay, and here I remember these two concepts actually. So there is a question, when you create a Dataproc cluster with internal IPs, which is restricted to access internet, and if you have to install the dependencies, so how do you do that? So there's a question like that. And it's also very important to understand the Google Cloud Storage role when you create a Dataproc cluster on Google Cloud Platform. So it is recommended from the Google Cloud Platform to use Google Cloud Storage as your uh, storage service to store your Hadoop data. Okay, and it's also important when to use your Google Cloud Storage and when to use your Hadoop disk for storing your data. Okay, there's a question to test your knowledge, when to use PDs, persistent disk, when to use Google Cloud Storage. Okay, and other important topics, you need to thoroughly understand the use case of Google Cloud Storage. Okay, with Dataproc. Okay, and the concepts of ephemeral cluster and advantages. Okay, and all those concepts are very important. Okay, and also there is a concept called preemptible workers. If you have to process heavy workloads, right, and the availability of some of the workers is least priority, it's okay. In that case, usually it is preferred to use preemptible workers. Okay, and Dataproc IAM roles and also network configuration, right? When you create a Dataproc cluster, okay, if you have to create the Dataproc cluster in private VPC, what are the different configuration you will do, and those concepts. Okay, and when you work with Dataproc, and if you have to integrate data into BigQuery or Google Cloud Storage bucket, you need certain connectors. Okay, these connectors are available, and you need to understand how they work, how to integrate data between these services. Okay, and also we can install additional components. For example, let's say if you have to install Jupyter Notebook kind of environment onto Dataproc cluster for data analysis. So how do you install that? So we have a video on this concept as well. Just go through our playlist. Okay, and also Apache Spark machine learning capabilities in certain scenarios, in certain situation, you can use these capabilities. Okay, and advantage of Dataproc when it is coming to the scalability of the cluster. Okay, all those scenarios. Okay, the next service, PubSub. Okay, so message service for your event ingestion and delivery. So you need to understand these topics, very important. PubSub basics and stream use cases, and also message ordering. Some it supports both message ordering, right, which are in order format, which are in out of order format. Okay, those concepts. Okay, and PubSub can be used as a middleware to integrate your two asynchronous applications. So especially when you design event driven architecture. For example, we have videos on this concept as well, right? we have designed some lightweight ETL pipelines using cloud functions, and we have triggered those cloud functions using cloud scheduler. So internally PubSub will be used to trigger your cloud functions. Okay, so those scenarios are very important. And PubSub IAM roles, and it also supports user defined schemas, and this is also very important concept. Okay, and there is one more important concept called publisher subscriber relationship. So it supports one to many, many to many, many to one relationship. So when to use what, these things. Okay, and cloud storage. Okay, this is a global scale object storage service to store your structured and unstructured data. You need to have a thorough understanding of its storage classes like nearline, cold line, standard, archive. Okay, and use cases, when to use what. And there is a tool, command line interface tool, available to work with your Google Cloud Storage objects and file transfer and all those. And there are concepts, okay, to know, like multi-part upload, composite upload, with respect to you upload data into your Google Cloud Storage bucket. Okay, you need to understand all this concept. And IAM roles, and also ACL, granular level access control. So you can apply these access controls at object folder. And Google Cloud Storage does support object versioning and lifecycle management. It is very important to understand these two concepts. We have a dedicated videos already available in our channel. Just go to that video, and we have a documentation also. Okay, and there is an interesting use case which has been asked in the current exam, like so in order to monitor your Google Cloud Storage bucket usage, right? And uh, you can build some monitoring framework, okay, using Google Cloud monitoring tools. Okay, and PubSub can be used to notify the usage of your bucket. Okay, so in this context there is a question. Okay, this is also you can just look into this particular use case. Google Cloud Storage also can be used to serve your web content, because you can store your structured and unstructured data. Okay, you can use that content to serve your website. Okay, and relational database services. Okay, coming to the Cloud SQL. So how to create Cloud SQL instance with public and private IPs, and what are the different methods we have, what are different secure methods we have to connect Cloud SQL instance, for example SQL proxy. And also, what are the high available concepts to know with respect to Cloud SQL instance, and what are the features we have, what are the failover features we have. Okay, and also read replicas, when to use read replicas. Okay, what is a data replication and what is a standby instance. These two topics are very important. Definitely you would see a question from this area, one of this area. Okay, I got the question from this high availability topic or concept. Okay, and Cloud SQL basic IAM roles, important. And what are the different options, features we have to export data from Cloud SQL, and also to import data into Cloud SQL, and what are the client libraries facilities we have. Okay, and Cloud Spanner, horizontally scalable cloud native relational database, which is available with unlimited scale and also 99.99% availability. Okay, and you need to understand Cloud Spanner horizontal scalability features very well, and all those scenarios when to use Cloud Spanner. Okay, and basic IAM rules and data import and export options we have. This is very important, and this is most important concept from the exam point of view. And when you design schema tables for your Cloud Spanner, so it is very important to follow all the best practices and guidelines given from the Google Cloud platform. Okay, and when do you exactly create secondary indexes, so how do you follow best practices to improve the performance of your SQL queries, it completely depending on your schema design. Okay, so you need to understand all these concepts very well. And also how do you create instances regionally, multi-regional, and what are the auto scaling aspects you should look into. Okay, and when to use auto scaling and all those scenarios. Okay, and also when you migrate data into Cloud Spanner. Okay, so you need to understand all the use cases, for example from DynamoDB to Cloud Spanner, Oracle or MySQL to Cloud Spanner, when exactly you will recommend Cloud Spanner, in which use case. Okay, all these are very important. Okay, now coming to Cloud Bigtable, one more important cloud native wide column database for large scale low latency workloads. It is a NoSQL database, and you need to understand all the basic features and use cases and its scalability features for fast read and writes. Okay, and Bigtable instance support two types of storage devices. One is SSD and HDD. When to use what? Okay, when to use SSD, when to use HDD. Okay, and also this is very important. When you design cloud Bigtable table, you need to follow certain best practices, especially when you design a Rocky. Okay, this is very important, which would decide the table performance, right? So you need to understand all these concepts very well. Okay, this is important from the exam point of view. I got a question from this area, so where they have given some scenario, and they have given columns, and which column you would select for a row. Okay, so like that you will get questions in the exam. Okay, and IAM roles, and also creating and managing the table instances. Okay, and there is a compatible open source NoSQL database available for Cloud Bigtable. Okay, it is HBase API for Bigtable, and also CBT tool to query your Bigtable tables. Right, we have a video on this concept also, so you can go to that video. To orchestrate your workflows or pipelines on Google Cloud Platform, also pipelines spread across other clouds also. And what are the different use cases? Okay, you will consider Composer to orchestrate your pipeline. Okay, and so you can create your Composer environment in shared VPC also, and you can use private IPCs and networking concept, and all those are very important to know. Okay, and what are the different security aspects when it is coming to providing access to your Composer environment, whether it can be infrastructure or it can be your web UI, Airflow UI. So how you would control the access. Okay, those concepts are very important. You need to have very good understanding of the programming concepts of DAG, directed acyclic graph, where you will define your tasks. Okay, ETL tasks, and there you will use different operators to perform different tasks. Like if you have to perform BigQuery, you need to understand BigQuery operator. If you have to perform GCS task, you need to understand GCS operator, Bash, Python. Like that, we do have different operators. It's always recommended to have good understanding of those operators and also dark components. Okay, definitely you need to have a Python programming knowledge. Okay, and then how do you manage Composer environment? Okay, and also how do you update and delete your Composer environment? Okay, this is important. We'll move to the next service, that is Data Fusion. So it is a data integration tool for building and managing your data pipelines. So in the background, it uses Dataproc to execute your workload. So it doesn't require any coding knowledge. If you have to rapidly build pipelines and test those pipelines and deploy those pipelines, for those use cases, you can use Cloud Data Fusion, and it does support public and private instances, and you can export the pipelines for usability, and you can import the pipeline which are already existing, and the portability of the pipeline concepts are very important, and also IAM roles, and it does provide data lineage features, and also what are the cost controlling aspects when it is coming to Cloud Data Fusion, because to maintain that instance itself you'll have to pay, and also in the background it uses Cloud Dataproc for executing those pipelines, and even you have to pay for Dataproc infrastructure. Okay, those concepts are very important, or you decide to use this Data Fusion service. Okay, and the next service, Data Prep. Okay, so using this service you can visually explore clean prepared data for machine learning use cases. Okay, and it also support predictive transformations, right? When you input something into your data prep UI, right, and that interface, so it will also recommend the transformation which are suitable for that particular task. Okay, and also it can be used to detect anomalies in the data, and also data quality rules you can apply. Okay, and it is scalable based on your workload, and it has the inbuilt capability to orchestrate your tasks, right, and you can use that feature, right. And the next one is Cloud Function. This is one of my favorite service, but this is somehow overlooked in the exam. I was expecting some questions in the exam, but I didn't see any question from this area directly. So especially you will have to understand this service from our ETL use cases perspective, like event driven ETLs and lightweight ETLs, and if you have to schedule some lightweight ETL with the help of cloud scheduler, and how would you do that? We have in detail videos uploaded into our channel. You can go to those channels, okay? And you can use cloud function to automate some of the processes, okay? And you can build some notification frameworks and all those you can use in many places, okay? It is important to know even this service, okay? From our data engineering skills perspective, I would say. Okay, Firestore. So this is a NoSQL document database available. So this can be used for all those use cases, and you can build your mobile and web application, and you can use this service as a storage service in those use cases. It does support ACID transactions, and you need to understand other data model concepts as well. Now there are other services you should know, okay, which are important when you migrate data from on-prem to the Google Cloud, or else from other cloud to the Google Cloud. You can use certain services. So these are the few important services to know: transfer appliance and storage transfer service. So when to use what in different use cases, you'll have to understand all those concepts, okay? And then for monitor and auditing purpose, you can use, okay, these two services for auditing: cloud logging. So we have a web UI available, okay, for cloud logging. There you can query your cloud logs, and you can bring some insights, who is using what and when, and all those information. And also cloud monitoring, you can build some interactive dashboard to monitor your cloud resources and utilization of your cloud resources, okay? And this is one of the important service, cloud data loss prevention. So this will be helpful to segregate your sensitive data, that is PII data. So based on the given inputs, you can classify your PII data. For example, based on some sensitive information like credit card number, social security number, and all those parameters, you can classify the data. And if you want, you can redact the data. You can store the data somewhere in the BigQuery for the future use, okay? So from PA data point of view, this is important service to know, okay? And also cloud scheduler, manage cron job scheduler service, okay? So this is important. We have already uploaded video on this service as well. The last but not least, you should thoroughly understand all the machine learning important APIs and also machine learning infrastructure available, because we have one of the responsibility to operationalize your machine learning models, right? For that you need to understand machine learning APIs and machine learning infrastructure available to implement those use cases, okay? So all these are very important for different use cases. So I've seen a question from this area, Dataflow. So this is used to build conversation application like chatbots, right? So in that perspective it is very important. So and also for your video use cases, you can use video AI. For image use cases, vision. And for sentiment analysis, natural language AI, to convert speech to text and text to speech. These two services are very important, okay? And also we need to understand the infrastructure available for different purposes. So AutoML for custom machine learning model training and development, okay? Vertex AI Workbench and Vertex AI for analyzing your data. It is a Jupyter kind of notebook available to analyze your data, to build your machine learning models and all those, okay? You need to understand these pre-built APIs and also infrastructure, okay? And you will definitely see few questions from this area. And also you need to understand the basic concepts and terminologies, okay, with respect to the machine learning model, like what is the model training, evaluation, and what is the feature engineering, okay, what is model overfitting, okay? All these concepts are very important, okay, when it is coming to your machine learning for your data engineering skills, okay? So I hope this is going to help you, okay? And now we'll get into the important learning resources you can make use of for your preparation, and also to sharpen your existing Google Cloud data engineering skills, okay? The first thing is theoretical concept. You will get through these concepts from Google Cloud Platform official documentation available for each and every service and products. Okay, so if you go to this Google Cloud.com products page, so you will see these services based on their category. For example, for data engineering skills, this is the category is important, data and analytics. Okay, you need to understand all these services, and there are some important services which I've already discussed from the exam point of view. Okay, so I would suggest you to go through each of these service, at least the basic features you should know before you will extend your knowledge. Okay, on each of these services. Click on this service and open link in new tab. It will take you to the dedicated page of that service. Here you will see the features of that service. Read these features, okay, couple of times, so that you will have a quick understanding of these services. And here they have given the use cases also and some case studies kind of thing. Okay, so you can go through this documentation and this will definitely help you. Okay, so like that you'll have to explore and you'll have to read the documentation, okay, for each of these services. Okay, like that we do have databases. Okay, so cloud spanner, cloud sql, okay, and firestore, and developer tools. Okay, we'll use certain tools in our data engineering use cases like cloud scheduler. Okay, and in some use cases for CI/CD pipelines, cloud build, we will use this service as well. Okay, and like this you'll have to go through the documentation and read the documentation couple of times, at least the basic features to understand the service, and then you can improvise your learning by practicing that service use cases. Okay, I will give you resources even for that, how to practice those use cases. Okay, and examples and all those. Okay, now we'll go to the second learning resources. So anyway, we have our channel, so I'm continuously uploading videos, right? And I started uploading conceptual videos and also explaining the services with practicals and examples and all those. And I'm also providing the code through my public GitHub repository. You can make use of all these resources. Definitely this will help you. Okay, and there is one resources that is uh, Wiki Labs. Okay, so this is the environment. So by the way, it is not available for free of cost. Actually, you'll have to pay, and there are subscription plans also. So if you want to make use of this environment, you can pay $29 per monthly, and you can just read these benefits, right, when you take this subscription. Okay, this is basically a environment where you can uh, practice your labs. Actually, this is a lab environment. So for each lab they will provide set of instructions, and those instructions will have explanation of executing the task given in the lab. Okay, for example, if I have to explain you in detail, so go over here, click on this explore tab. Okay, this is the page. I will also try to provide this link with the video description, and I will also share my presentation, okay, in the form of PDF. You have those links in the presentation also. Okay, and for example, if you want to practice labs for Dataflow, okay, you can just type in the explore. Okay, now you will see this, the labs coming one by one. Okay, for Dataflow. So some of the labs are free, but some of the labs are not free. Very basic lab, quick start kind of things are free, but most of the labs require credits, so you will get credits once you take the subscription. Okay, and okay, just open one of the lab. It will open up the lab instructions, and it also provides the resources required for the lab execution, right? So if you need some scripts, they will provide the scripts from their GitHub repository. You will have to use, and you have to follow these instruction as it is, and this will help you to understand end-to-end use cases. Okay, for example, let's say here how to create cloud storage bucket, run an example pipeline remotely. Okay, and how to check job status, succeed or fail, and test your understanding. So like that it will give you end-to-end understanding of that use case, and it will also give you a deeper insight when to use that service and its other aspects of the services. Okay, for example, let's say you don't have a subscription. What I suggest, just come to this particular portal and register. Registration is free. And if you want to perform this lab, right, what you can do, just open up one of the lab. Anyway, you have the instructions, and I would strongly suggest you to create your Google Cloud free tier account. With that free account, they will credit almost $300. You will have to use those $300 for 3 months. Okay, and you can practice all these labs in your free account, but you will not, you may or you may not get these scripts, but you can just try to mimic this task or lab over there with your own scripts and own examples, right? That way you can make use of this environment. Okay, if you have the subscription, well and good. If you don't have the subscription also, you can make use of these labs. You can try to mimic these labs in your personal account. So, and also one more interesting thing, if you have the subscription, right, and this also providing certain certification paths, right? For example, you are aiming for Google Cloud certification, right? So there are some curated learning courses or programs available. You can subscribe or you can enroll those resources, right? And there you will have a guided instruction from the trainers. You will have the video lectures, you will have the labs which are required for that course. Okay, so for example, here you can see this is data engineering learning path. Okay, so if you click on this data engineering learning path, it will take you to that particular path, and you will have to complete all these courses, right? And they have given the duration of the course. And one course, if you click on any of this link, right, and for example this one, okay, and it will have series of videos and the labs and quizzes, right, which would help you to uh, gain the knowledge. Okay, so I hope this will really help you. I think you can make use of this environment to practice your labs. Okay, to sharpen your practical knowledge with respect to the Google Cloud resources and services. Okay, so the next one, uh, there is one more interesting resource. So if you have to pictorially quickly understand the services and their feature and their use cases, there is an interesting GitHub repository available. Okay, so that is this one. Okay, Priyanka Vargadia, GCP sketch notes, and someone who is someone who is already working in this area, and who is familiar with Google platform and services, and if they read some blogs related to Google platform, and they should know this resource actually, because this is very famous. And so you can come to this public Git repository, and you will see these sketch notes. And for example, click on these images. Okay, and for example, you wanted to know the concepts related to our data and analytics services like Dataflow. Click on this JPEG and it will open up that sketch note, and it's really helpful to understand the concepts quickly related to any of the Google Cloud platform services. So you can observe this sketch note, right? So what is the data flow and when to use, what are the different components it has, and how do you basically design your pipeline, and how does it work. Okay, what is the security concepts we have, and what is the pricing, how to use. Okay, data flow use case example also, like that. We do have this sketch note for each and every services. For example, Dataproc. Okay, click on that and you will see the similar kind of sketch note for each of the services. And we have this sketch note for almost all Google Cloud platform services. So not only data engineering services, we do have other services for application development, integration tools, developer tools, networking, compute, storage. Okay, so this is one of the highly recommended resource to look into. Okay, so the next one, for example, yeah, you are familiar and you are now reached to some comfort level, and you got some practical knowledge also, and you understand each and every services, and you want to even improve your knowledge with respect to the architectural point of view, right? For example, let's say if there is a complete data analytics application, and we'll use bunch of Google Cloud resources to implement that particular architecture. So what services can be used, and what is the real-time implementation, and what is a model implementation. So for that, you have to even further improve your knowledge, or sharpen your knowledge. So there is a interesting resource available, that is Cloud Architecture Center. Okay, so this is also available for free, and you can go to any of these reference architecture, for example big data and analytics. Okay, so you will see almost real-time use cases. Okay, and for example, let's say I want to see load and process data. Okay, for example analytics lake house. Okay, for this use case you can see this lab instructions has been given, and you will see the reference architecture also. Okay, what are the different Google Cloud Analytics products which you can use as part of this service, and the execution and implementation of these use case also explained over here. So if you have the time, and anyway you have the free trial account, and you can definitely try this. Definitely this will give you lot of insight, lot of understanding. Okay, and it will improve your knowledge and also your confidence. Okay, last but not least, this is one of the important thing you need to look into. So once you are done with your preparation and you are ready for the exam, and definitely you will have to practice some model questions and model exam. Why? Because this will help you in many ways, right? The one way is when you practice these model exams, they help you your accuracy of reading the question. And the other way, it will also help you to manage your time in the exam, because you already practice a lot of model questions, right? And you know how you are managing your time, so that in the practice exam, so you will try to replicate the time management process in the actual exam also. Okay, so it will help you in many ways. Okay, and don't think that you will get the same question in the exam, but yeah, it will definitely help you to increase your accuracy of reading question, and also understanding the question, and also speed reading capabilities of that question, and time management. Okay, because there is a timer. Once you start your question, there will be a timer always ticking, and you have to follow the time. And so for that we have a lot of resources. So you have Udemy. So in the Udemy we have some practice questions available. So I don't have any commercial relationship with the Udemy, but just to suggest you, for the educational purpose, we have a practice question available for nominal price, and you will get a bunch of practice tests and questions, and you can practice this question, and also can test your knowledge. And if you see that if there is any gap in understanding any concept, you can go back to your that particular concept, and you can fill that gap. Okay, so this way it will help you if you follow the systematic approach to prepare for this examination and to acquire these GCP skills. Definitely you will achieve it. Okay, so that's it for this video. We will meet in the next video. Thanks for watching.